Alright, so this is my project. I'm going to use a DK Custom Coil and Ignition Switch Relocation Kit, the kind that are combined between the cylinders. What it's going to do is it's going to remove all of this plastic here. It's going to relocate this coil with a bracket that goes here. The coil is going to sit here, and then on top of it, the ignition switch. Right now, the ignition switch, it's right here. It's going to get removed. All this plastic's going to be gone. All the wiring up in there I'll take care of. I got some special silicone self-adhesive non-stick residue type stuff. It's good. So all the wires will get wrapped up in there, and all that's going to move down into here. So the kit came in this box today. I'm ready to get going. And that's your $105. It's 2 wires, because instead of the wires going up and all the way over and way around and then up, they're just short. They'll just go right here. Actually though, yeah, like this I think. Boom, right into it like that. Something like that, or the other way, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's gotta be this way. Anyway, they'll go in like that. And I guess this is like a $87 bracket. Anyway, it's gonna go in between these two here. The ignition will get bracketed on here. The coil will go here, and then that's it. It's just a bunch of labor. There's the little parts that hook it all together. Just being careful and taking your time, and it's supposed to be a super easy project. Good deal. I'm gonna start on it now. Before I get too far ahead of myself, let me tell you what I did. Took the seat off. I didn't need to, maybe, I don't know, because I was looking for the main fuse, so you can cut all power off. And on my year model, the Iron 883 2015 model, it's just right here. You just pull this little piece out just a smidge, and that lets this thing slide out. And then you just pull this main fuse right here out. That's a big old fuse, my goodness. 40 amps, wow. Should maybe get a couple of these, a couple extras of these, keep them in my bag. Might not be a bad idea. Anyway, that's step 1. All right, here we are partway into the project. I disconnected the wires going from the coil to the plugs, disconnected the coil, removed the coil, the ignition switch on the other side, the nut where your key goes in, and then there's a metal covering over top of that as well. And then there's some harnesses and some zip ties holding all the wires, and all of these have little snap together little things inside of that plastic piece. So you just gotta go real slow, find out what is still connected, slowly take it apart, be gentle with all the wires, prop your tank up, and this is how it looks so far. Just following directions. The directions are pretty good. Little update here. I have a seat here. Alright, so when you disconnect the coil, there's this little, I don't know if you can see it back in here, this little wiring harness here that's connected to it. You'll remove from all the wires, take apart. In my case, it had just electrical tape, but the instructions say it might be a zip tie, but mine was electrical tape. A couple spots. Feed the wires back through. Oh, excuse me. Also the switch, the ignition switch, and get them to come through this way, and then start hooking it all up. The bracket. Take this bolt out of your cylinder and this one out of your head. The bracket fits in there. Tighten them down. This goes back in here. Put this nut back on to secure the switch. The coil goes in. It's the little rubber pieces here. Is everything, of course, vibrates in part in a Harley, so they got these little things here to keep the vibration down. A little plate in the back that the screws go into, so these go all the way through. Anyway, that's how it all hooks up. And the new plugs. Oh, let me see. The new plugs are here. They're gonna go in there anyway. I want to take a little break, have a sip of Diet Coke, and then let you know what's going on, and then I'll get back. Before I get into it any further, I'll show you something I noticed. There's the curved section and then the straight section. Put the curved on first, because that's where all the torque and these are really short and they're really hard to reach. So if you put these on first, then you're trying to really pull this and then you're trying to get this little bitty plug there to go in there just right. Well, you can do it when it's disconnected much easier. Just feel it in, and then you can feel it go in good. And then you got this one here, it's a longer one, and so you can come at it straighter. And anyway, but it's like really close. Anyway, put in the curved one here first, and then put in this one. Okay, now's where the finesse and the artwork come in. I bought this special tape. It's a silicone-based tape, self-adhesive, adhering, like electrical tape sticks to itself when you stretch it. Except for this doesn't leave behind a residue. So anyway, these wires, I'm gonna go nice and slow and just do it really nice and cautious. Up underneath, get the lengths of them all just right. And then wrap around and around and around and around so all the wires are covered. Just gonna take my time and be careful of the details so that it looks really good. Alright, so I ordered a 12-foot roll of this 1-inch. It's called Emergency Repair Self-Adhesive Silicone Tape. Looks like a little bit ripped there. I stretched it too tight. So I want to add another wrap there. But that's the way it looks if you don't do a tank lift. If you do a tank lift, all these wires go up on top of here because you're propping your tank up more on a different bracket situation here. And your tank tilts up more, so there's more space, so you can put all the wires on top of the backbone. I don't want to do that because I've only got a 3.3 gallon tank anyway. And it seems like I'm always the one that everybody's stopping to wait for as I get fuel, and they don't need to. So I don't want to reduce the size of my tank by tilting it up. So once I get the tank put down, I'll get some more video so that you can see. Right now you're like, ooh, yeah, I can see all that. But I don't think so. Once you get that tank laying back down, your walker by isn't going to notice unless they get down on their hands and knees. And I'm okay with that. Alright, she's all in. Just need to put the seat back on her. This tank's back down, bolted back in. You don't really see any of those wires, do you? I mean, this is like at level. You have to get on your belly to see and even then. Yeah, that's way cool. No issues at all. No bright colored wires up in there showing. I didn't have to disconnect this fuel connection like one video said I had to. I wasn't doing a tank lift either. I wasn't completely removing the tank. I think he was. So anyway, that's how she looks. I never had to remove all of these. People were removing this wire that went way around to the other end. And they were doing a lot more stuff than I was doing. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Just be mindful of the wires. Don't tape them up. Make sure you got enough slack, and then tape them up. Just go slow, little by little. Follow the directions. They did a really good job explaining step by step what you need to do. So somebody that's never done it before can totally do it. Just they can read. All right, let's try this live. See if it's gonna work. Got the key in her. Seat's all back on. Give it a shot. I put her in neutral already, so twist back. Alright. Check in neutral. Not good. Leaking fuel. Alright, well that will wake you right up, having fuel leaking out of your gas tank while your engine's running. So what this is, it's a little like quick disconnect. You lift up on that, and the little black part pops out. So I just pushed up on this a little harder, and then go click, and snapped into place. So it should be good with no fuel leaking now. So anyway, turn it back on, try it again. Good to go. Leaking. No good. All right, I want to give this some more attention.
The reason for the fuel line leaking, if you look back through the video, I had that tank tipped up pretty sharply. I never pinched it, but because it was held up so far, it kinked it, and I think it stressed the connection right where that braided hose goes into the stainless steel connection there. Anyway, so that's why it broke. $116 later for a 4-inch hose, and it's all running perfect now.